Welcome to our Veterans Affairs Committee meeting. We're running late because there was a previous meeting in this location, so it is now January the 10th, 2023, 11:41. Call this meeting to order. Will everybody stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance? Appreciate it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This past year has been a very hard year for many of us, so will you please remain standing for our prayer.
Uncover, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the year that we have completed and for the success, for the strength that you have given us. As we face a new challenge, together we will be patient, understanding, and to our comrades, the wisdom please give us in our decisions, that your aid in building a better America bestow our special blessings upon us, that we who assume the duties of leadership walk with each other in hearts and minds day by day, so that we may continue to serve our God and country. Amen.
Amen.
Cover.
You appreciate it.
You can Zoom everyone.
Let's just keep our prayers for those warriors that we lost in this past year. Like I said, it's been a tough year for some of us. Marshall, can we have a roll call?
Yes, sir. American Legion Post 59.
Present.
Black Widows. Catholic War Veterans. Disabled American Veterans.
Present.
Korea War Veterans.
Present.
LULAC 777.
Present.
Marine Corps League.
Present.
South Texas, Afghanistan, and Iraqi veterans. He usually does Zoom, but I don't see him.
So we don't have anybody on Zoom right now.
It doesn't look like it, sir. I sent out the link.
Okay. All right.
Valor. Absent. VFW. Webb County Service Office.
Present.
And also for the record, Ms. Bettis is here.
Yes.
Sir, you have a quorum?
Thank you, Marshall. Next item on the agenda, we have entertained a motion for approval for the minutes for the November meeting, November 8th. We have a motion, a second. All those in favor of the motion to approve the minutes for November 8th, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, we have the citizens' comments. Do we have anybody that signed up, Marshall?
Mr. Segovia wanted to say a few words about the walking trail, Mr. Segovia. You still want to say something? You spoke with the councilman, remember?
It's not on the, it's not an item on the agenda.
No, it's just a comment.
All right. Mr. Segovia?
Yes, sir.
For the record, Jesus Segovia. I spoke to Councilman Gutierrez last week so he could give me an update on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Park, a walking trail actually. And he told, well, because I've been going by there and I've noticed a lot of stakes, all over the place. The walking trail has actually already been routed. It's already, they're working on some bids. And he said that hopefully within the next couple of weeks, they will start working on the trail and, and get the park going. So, thank God, it'll be up and running real soon. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Widow. Anybody else, Marshall?
Anyone else want to say anything?
Okay.
Okay, moving on, I know that time is precious for all of us, but I've been asked if we could move an item. Ms. Gigi Ramos has a present commitment to continue serving our veterans, so I'll entertain a motion to move item number 3.
Second.
Motion, have a second?
Second.
Second, motion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay, motion passes. Ms. Gigi, item number 3, discussion possible action regarding presentation by Gigi Ramos from Volunteers Serving the Need on what the organization does for veterans and matters incident thereto.
Thank you for allowing me to speak first. My name is Gigi, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the program in case you don't know. I am the founder and CEO of Volunteers Serving the Need, the Veterans Program in Webb County. Why? I was born in Rio Grande City, Texas. It was the second poorest county in the United States for many, many years. So I have over 100 volunteer veterans in my family who joined the military because they could have guaranteed food. They could eat. Stark County was a really hard place. Thank goodness we were raised in Seal Beach, California. My father and my uncle were both Navies. My mother's a Marine. She's 88 years old. So I founded this unit in Webb County to try to make a difference in the lives of veterans. This is my second project. My first project I did was in Rio Grande City, Texas, where I was able to serve 5,000 senior citizens a month with food and non-food at no charge to them. I had the opportunity of working with Mr. H.E.B. Butt Jr. in Stark County, who helped me start the first food bank in the 80s. I started the bank because I worked for the federal government. I worked for the post office for 5 years. I carried 70 pounds on my back and I drove the big trucks. And I enjoyed that work until they said, there's a job with air-conditioned makeup and high heels in the main office. Who wants the job? I put up my hand. I did not know in 1980 anything about food stamps. We've always worked, so I didn't know anything about it. And I was so disappointed when I saw senior citizens in 1980 receiving $16 of food stamps when we had other families that were professionals that would have many, many, many children every year that were getting $2,000 and $2,500 of food in 1980. And since then, it has increased. Unfortunately, the seniors and the veterans were not getting any of that help. When my children won scholarships, I came to Laredo, Texas, and I've been very blessed. My youngest daughter's been a registered nurse for 25 years at Doctors Hospital. My oldest is 25 years in TAMIU. So they did not need me, so I said, what can I do? I thought I was going to be back with the seniors, but the seniors were pretty much taken care of here, but the help was needed in the veterans. So with 2 bags of clothing and a dream, found out about the Tex-Mex Cantina, which is 1202 Salinas, and I met the women that owned the building, and they allowed me to rent the building, and we had a relation with the Tex-Mex, so we were able to lease 2 plats from them. So from 2009, July 2nd, we started the project. We've been a 501c3 since October 17th, 2009. During that time to present, I'm very grateful to tell you that we have no debt. Everything we have for the Veterans Project in Webb County is paid in cash. We have raised over $2 million, and we have graduated 500 veterans out of the Líneas de Hambre into better federal jobs, better income, or to heaven with the respect and dignity they deserve. That is our goal, with the help of many, many people. I'm a fire starter. I enjoy starting fires, and I enjoy seeing a solution. Someday, this will be the pilot project for every county in the United States of America. We are the only unit that takes $20, turns it into $200 of help for one vet, plus 30 pounds of meat and non-food items. That's how we've been able to push people along. And of course, we work with all veteran units here in Webb County, trying to find out, why are you stuck? I have had many, many arguments and fights with many people that say I give entirely too much food. For a man or a woman who served my country, I think they deserve 1 pound of meat a day. I think that's only fair. Most vets and surviving spouses will not go to the food stamp office. You'll never see them there. But they will come with us because they know they're going to be treated with the honor, respect, and dignity they deserve for the service to our country. Wartime or not wartime, they went. We work with the South Texas Food Bank. We are one of the largest buyers besides my hometown over there in Starr County, which now I'm very happy to tell you has 8 food banks and is serving that area. I was raised in Seal Beach, California, so I've been very blessed and I've had a lot of opportunities in my life. And I just wanted to play it forward to take care of our own. I invite you to come by and look at what we do every Friday because we have leased 2 plats from the Tex-Mex. We will have our lines of cars that will go all the way around Santa Maria. I have to make 2 and 3 lines to get them through. We work very much like a fast food restaurant. Everything is pre-sorted, pre-bagged, pre-ready to go, and it's fast so that we can make sure they're getting their food as fast as they can into the cars and get them out. We work with many, many other young people that have a lot of energy and a lot of strength who helps us get the bags together. So basically, they're getting their 30 pounds of meat. We try to be very selective to make sure they're getting chicken, pork, hamburger, whatever I can buy, it's going to be for them because we want them to be totally in power in their mind, their soul. What can we do to help get you? Why are you stuck? Now, of course, all of these other units here behind me do wonderful work too on what they're doing to help get them to the next level. We are the basics. We are the non-professionals. We just take care of food, non-food, and why are you doing what you do? Last week, I thought I was going to pass out. I had 2 women, one 76-year-old and one 70-year-old woman, say, Gigi, you don't know what a difference this food makes to me. Unfortunately, my husband didn't leave me a whole lot. So I am being forced to go back to work at the hotel to become a maid. What the hell is going on in the United States of America? I want to know. Why do we have these people in such terrible conditions? That's why I'm here. I want you to come and look to see what we're doing. I want you to help me get this to every county in the United States of America. My goal, I'm only 68. I've got some time left. I hope before I'm 80 years old, this program, the pilot project that started here in Webb County, will be throughout the United States of America. Let's get the veterans out of Líneas de Hambre, and with your help, we can make a difference. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about, and I wanted to invite you to come and see. A lot of you already know us. It took 9 years to get $10,000 out of the county. We don't go away. My Bible verse is Luke 18, 1 through 8. The little old lady who wouldn't go away. I'm asking for justice. Justice in my country. I don't want to see any veterans, surviving spouses in Líneas de Hambre. The goal was we would be done with this job in 5 years. I'm on year 13. We keep finding them. They're all over the place. Thank goodness, with a lot of help from a lot of other veteran units, we've got most of them out of Mexico back over here in the USA. So that's what I wanted to tell you about and invite you. Also, we were very blessed, did the same thing with Lamar Bruni Vergara. Thank God we got $100,000 out of them. We bought our building. Everything is made on Peace Corps style because that's where my training is from. Volunteers in Service to America is a nonprofit that teaches you how to work in the United States to make a difference in one life, in one unit. What can you do? They don't pay you, but they teach you. I said, teach me, I'll figure out how to make my own money. So this is why I'm here, and with your permission, I'd like to give you one of these, and I would also like to ask you, in our webpage, we have an area there that's PayPal and other areas where you buy things for the city. That money can be directed because you get points with so many things that you buy. Those points can come back to take care of a vet. Since COVID forward, it's been very difficult to keep the organization alive. I work about 60 hours a week. I pay myself 20. I have one helper. I pay him 30, and he works 42, and we're the only 2. My two volunteers, I have an 80-year-old, we call him Captain, and I have a 78-year-old, and we call him Sergeant. And that's the group. We depend on anyone and everyone we can. We work with federal probation, we work with the ticket program, we work with every single unit that we can to have them come in and help us prepare the food so that our vets are getting the best of the best. Now, you can compare us to any unit in the United States of America, and nobody gives more food than we do. My food bill runs $3,000 to $6,000 a month at the food bank. I have fought with many people. They said I'm giving too much food. No, not for a warrior in our community. And none of my family veterans are from here. I just want to tell you what a difference it's made in my life to see them walk out when they graduate.
Thank you, Gigi.
Yes, sir. Anybody have any questions?
Do you have any questions or comments about this presentation?
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure you all got something that you can come and visit us. And there was just one thing, sorry, late reaction. David's program has been very helpful to us because they do the home deliveries of food. Through those home deliveries, we have found out with people that needed ramps for their house, who needed doors for their house. I have one surviving spouse of a veteran that her house was completely redone. That trailer was a bote and a half. It's a real thing now. She's so happy. Thanks again for your service and allowing me to come in early.
I do
Thank
have
you
a
for what you
question.
do for our veterans, Gigi.
I do have a question.
Yes.
If I may. May I ask a
Yes.
question? Yes, ma'am. Is volunteer serving the need, is that a registered 501c3?
It is.
Yeah, since October 17th, 2009.
Have you applied for third-party funding with the city?
Yes, ma'am, I have it with the city. Thank the Lord. The city was the first one that stepped up to the plate to help me. We get $10,962 a year.
And you serve how many veterans?
Approximately 350 a month.
Are you gonna reapply this year?
Yes, we already have. We keep trying to get more money, but they've kept me at $10,962 for 6 years.
Have you asked for more?
I always ask for more.
Okay,
I'm just glad I finally got $10,000 out of the county.
okay.
So,
All right, I'm gonna look into that. Thank you.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Councilmember. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, and as you can see, I skipped the communications and announcements to the last item on the agenda for a reason, and we'll get to that when we get to it. Next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding an update on the Iraqi-Afghanistan monument at Jarvis Plaza and any matters incident there too.
Morning, Quijano for the record.
Morning.
This is so far the status update. In a meeting, one of the veterans, they were given two options if the OMA could be turned on, please.
Gotta put a nickel in.
They're working on it. They're working on it, sir.
So we're gonna tell Gigi that you wanted to have a word with her after the meeting,
About what, sir?
with being a fire starter.
I know, I heard that.
All right, this is one of the monuments. As you can see it real quick here. So you have basically two-in-one, Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. I'm gonna put it back in a minute. Here's the other one. So the members decided to go this one. Right. Words, of course, wording can change. All right. Wording can change, of course. Members decide that. And instead of having these soldiers right here, they're gonna have the names of the service members that were killed in action. Right here. All right, now this is a big one, a huge monument. And more or less, it's gonna, this is the smaller scale, as you can see the dimensions
Sure.
right there.
Quick question. This is to be placed at Jarvis?
Jarvis, yes, sir.
Not at the cemetery, at Jarvis, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, at Jarvis. Jarvis, that's where all the monuments for all the different wars, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Gulf War. So this one's pending, the Iraq and Afghanistan. You can see the dimensions right there, 52, 6, and that's what it is. Now, what is pending now is basically the funding, raising the funds. So now we've got to get together and discuss, kind of like have a meeting and get the money going.
I know that when we first, this idea was brought to the committee, that funding issue was discussed, and do you have a final number yet?
For
or
the
an
cost,
approximate final number?
yes, the cost for this one, we're looking at around $10,000. And that was a couple months ago. Maybe like back in March, right, that I got the quote. But I'm pretty sure it's going up with inflation.
It will still be around 10,000.
It's gonna be probably more than 10,000, 11,000. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments on this presentation?
Mr. Quijano, the other monuments, how do we get funding for those? Can we do the same route?
The one we did for the Gold Star Mothers, the VFW actually did that one and raised the funds there. That was one of Mr.
Yeah, that was,
Sanchez, I think he gave like 500, and there was a donation of 2,500 also. So it was raised, and private parties.
And who's taking the lead on this one for the fundraiser? Who is it?
It looks like the VFW.
Okay.
We gotta discuss, we had the VFW, we had some other things that we had to do, prioritize, and, you know, now it's coming up, so we're gonna try to brainstorm, see what comes up.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Any other questions? Concerns?
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Quijano.
Yes, sir, thank you.
wait,
I
question,
do,
Questions? Okay.
question,
Yes, sir.
on the funding side, there isn't any fund or council action or any action by any entity to
No, sir.
support this?
No, ma'am.
no.
No, ma'am.
Okay, well,
We can if the, ma'am, ma'am? So we can bring it up, but as of now, I believe it's the VFW members that are gonna try to fundraise. Now, correct me if I'm mistaken.
Yes, sir.
And we just, it's just something that was discussed from what I can remember at a meeting we had when we met in this other room by the stairs. Kind of that's what was said, as to the best of my recollection. I don't know, I guess you would have to ask your members if,
Yes, any funding where we
ask.
could get it from, we really don't care as long as, you know, we get it done.
You know, we had a discussion this when it first brought up, and, you know, Mr. Sanchez really was a founder of this monument, of the modern day time anyway. And then through this committee and your organizations have come where we have built several monuments, and there's some more coming down the pipe. And the funding obviously is always an issue. I understand that monuments in the past have been done through fundraising. And that discussion was, we had that discussion here at the meeting some time back.
Yes, sir.
However, there's a lot of organizations that provide grants and things like that, and I'm sure you're looking into that. And, but I know that the method of funding has been through private donations in the
Yes, sir.
past. But times have changed. And the American Warrior is being looked at in a very positive way nowadays, which hasn't been done for a while. And so we just need to take advantage of all avenues for funding, besides just private funding. But we thank you for the work you've done, starting with Mr. Sanchez in this modern day era.
I did look for grants also, and for war memorials.
Yeah.
No, sir.
It's tough to get.
Yeah.
They're tough to get.
Yes,
But
sir.
we appreciate the work you've done.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion on this item.
Absolutely.
I'd like to make a motion that, that myself and Mr. Garza take this to the city and the county to request, half funding from each
I was hoping
source.
for that. We have a motion on the floor to name Councilmember Perez and Mr. Garza to be co-chairs of a committee to ask the city and the county of Webb, city of Laredo and the county of Webb for donations to complete this project. Do we have we have a?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All those against, nay. The ayes has it. Thank you both very much. Well, thank you, all of you.
Thank you, yes, sir.
Okay, next item on the agenda. Let's see where I'm at. Even the glasses don't work anymore. Discussion and possible action regarding an update on the Soldiers Cross Monument and any matters incident there too.
That being myself,
Okay.
Chairman, can I do it from
You
here?
can do it from there.
Okay.
That's fine.
So, because I don't have any pictures or nothing.
Not a problem.
To that effect. So the update on it, obviously it had been ordered already. The county funded the whole project. It was about.
February 14th.
It was about, I'm gonna say like $14,000. The county funded the whole project. The last update that we got was earlier this morning, because we had been checking up on it, and it should arrive sometime mid-January. Then we're just gonna, wait to present it to the public, probably Memorial Day. However, I do have to get with Commissioner's Court, because I have to follow protocols and have them the opportunity to see it once it's finished. We did contact Laredo Monument. Let me make sure I'm getting the name right and the credit correctly. Yes, and they don't have an issue holding it for us until they understand the government takes a little bit to get the process going, so they don't mind holding it once it arrives. I will bring pictures, God willing, by next meeting, so y'all can see the final product of that monument. Once I see it and it's physically here, because it's not yet in Laredo, it arrives sometime in the middle of this month. Do need to take it and speak with Mr. John Orfila and make sure that we are coordinating correctly on the spot that we're gonna put it, and so on and so on in that area, because he is, as far as I know, the department head for the cemetery part of the city. So I do want to give him also his place to see it.
There's another individual that has done
Yes, sir.
good work with
I
for the
agree
veterans.
100%.
Remind us, Mr. Garza, the committee, on the last meetings that we had, this Soldiers Cross Monument has been approved and everything, but I don't remember whether the inscription had been finalized or not. Has it?
It was finalized and approved, and that young lady over there gave us nice little suggestions, so
Yeah,
we
I
followed
remember
the
we had
suggestion,
discussion
yes.
on that, yeah.
Yes,
And
definitely,
we formed a committee
definitely.
to do that, yes. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Any other questions or comments?
Well done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your work also.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to bring back item 3 really quickly. I know Ms. Ramos left, but I'd like to bring
Item
that
number 3?
item back, yes.
Have a motion to bring back item number 3. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against, nay. The ayes have it.
I'd like to make a motion on this item that, on behalf of the Veteran Affairs Committee, that we draft a letter to the third-party funding selection committee requesting to at least double the amount that they've normally been receiving from third-party funding.
We have a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion on the table to form a letter to ask the city of Laredo to double the amount of third-party funding for
Volunteers.
Gigi, what is it?
Volunteers.
Veteran volunteers, let me get it right. Volunteers serving the need. All
Second.
those in
Aye.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those against, say nay. It's a unanimous motion that passes. Thank you very much, Councilman.
So who would do the drafting up?
We'll get, Mr. Jimenez and I will coordinate the
Yes.
draft and we'll send it to the
We'll put it on the next item.
We'll bring it back for the
Back,
next
back,
item for
next.
approval, and then we'll send
Sure.
it to the committee.
A quick question on that. If we wait till the next meeting, we're not gonna pass the deadline to submittal for third party? I don't know when the
Oh, that's a
deadline
good
is, but there is
question.
a deadline. I think it's in March, February. At least I think that's what it is for the county. I'm not too sure if
Well,
it's the
she-
same.
Well, let us know.
I don't know, I'm asking.
Yeah, no,
because
let us know
maybe
and,
we shouldn't
well,
wait.
Well, I mean, I think she said she already applied, so then once you make your application, then the third-party funding has a committee that they kind of go through and decide what to fund. So, the letter would go to them so they can consider, doubling it and going to council as well. So when we're selecting on budget time in October, because it would be in October that we would finalize, like how
Well,
much everybody gets.
So it wouldn't hold anything up?
No.
I could be wrong, but the motion really, is about formulating a letter. And once the letter is ready, we can just sign it and we don't have to have a meeting to,
Okay.
Yeah,
present it.
we can do that.
because it's already been taken care of by the motion. I'm sure I'm correct.
So just not to bring it back to the committee,
No,
just
we'll just make
formulate
sure
it.
that Marshall will
Maybe
get
the
the signatures.
council, or
Okay,
right from here.
Okay.
very good. Thank you. Okay, discussion of possible action on creating and adopting bylaws and any matters incident thereto. Who's gonna take this one?
Mr. Quijano.
Sano.
So the members, Quijano for the record, the members seen on video also having structure and having bylaws here in the Veterans Affairs Committee. I did talk to City Secretary Jose Valdez. Mr. Valdez, I asked him if there's any bylaws for the committee going back, you know how it restarted again. And before there was a Veterans Affairs Committee many years ago. And I asked him, is there any form, is there any bylaws, is there any structure? And he didn't find none. And that was the city secretary. And so it's having some kind of bylaws, having articles of incorporation, and something we could go by. You know, if someone's asked us, we have something. And that's what I want to bring up. I do have a template, right, that was done. And as you can see here, and going by the Roberts also Rule of Order, and making sure, all the veterans get assistance, but at the same time, doing it correctly. We have, but yes, sir.
Waiting to see it on the screen. So that way, like, everybody can see what you're talking about. Because this is just a sample, right? Just a
Yes,
template.
this is just a sample, it could be changed, a committee could be made, right? The wishes of the committee, that's what we're here for. Is it in there?
Do we press a button down there, or is it?
No. Goes automatically.
Hey, you got me.
We need to get technical.
You don't have any hard copies to pass around?
I do have a couple, yes. I'll go ahead
Oh,
and,
there we go. It's up. Ricardo, it's up.
okay.
The IT guy.
Yeah.
This is a template, and here you can see, kind of like I'm just filling out the information. And it's self-explanatory, and information that we want to put, we add it, information we want to take off, we could take it off. I leave that to the decision.
So for example, can you read the first article or the first to us? So again, this is just a template, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
That's the only copies I have.
It's okay.
No, it's okay. Pass it down. I got one here. That way.
Yeah.
It's the same one. So for section 1 of Article 1, it says, by virtue of the mayor's appointed committee, the committee shall be known as the City of Laredo Veterans Affairs Committee. Like, that's what you mean by just filling it in? You filled in the
Yes.
part that says,
Yes, sir.
City of Laredo Veterans Affairs Committee. Section 2, location, location of this committee shall be in the city of Laredo, in the county of Webb, state of Texas, and so on. You're just filling the gap of what is already a hard template. Was this template provided by the city secretary or?
No,
Or
that's-
just, okay, just a
Yeah, that's-
template?
Yes,
Okay.
I found the template. This was not given by the city secretary or the city of Laredo.
So we can move, adjust stuff, add, subtract?
Yes,
Okay.
any information needed as,
You could add or remove.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
the wishes. Yes, sir.
So I believe what we need to do, Mr. Hano, gives all the members one,
Okay.
and then, they could have their input, and then create our own.
Exactly.
And then it goes up to a vote, I would think, Mr. Villa.
Well, this,
Yeah, just, for the record, our mission statement, does state some of these items on the articles.
It's,
Well, on the bylaws rather, that are being proposed, which is something that we need to have, but yes, we need to have the, first of all, I think we need to have the committee to approve having these articles, and then the wording that we're gonna have on the articles.
exactly.
But obviously, something like this is needed, but I just wanna make sure that the public understands that we're not running without some sort of mission statement. But
No.
we do have, every agenda, we do have the mission statement of what is it that we're trying to accomplish. And basically what it is improve the quality of life of our veterans.
And it's, Article 2, the purpose, Section 1, it states it right there, the purpose of this committee is to advise the city council on issues pertaining to veterans and veteran programs that will enhance the welfare of those Laredo citizens that have served in the armed forces. And that's what was,
that is the mission statement
on the city,
Yeah,
yeah. It's just basically I copied and pasted.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
so I think if we were to have a motion, it's not to adopt or to anything, it's just to discuss with possible action on creating and adopting bylaws and any matters incident there too. So basically, we just have to decide if we do want to
If
have
we want them,
bylaws or
yes.
not, and then we can do committees and all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I guess,
That is not done now.
the item should be in creating, not exactly adopting right now. We need to
Yeah,
create
it says
before we
creating,
adopt.
action on creating, and adopting, okay.
So we need to create before we adopt,
Yes.
right?
Okay,
So we need to
remove-
scratch,
Can we, is there a way to amend that?
Yeah.
for a motion, I believe.
I think that the item on the agenda is
Yeah, this creating and adopting.
creating, yeah, and right now, what we're gonna be voting on is, we
Creating.
wanna create bylaws to be governed by.
Yes.
That, and I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
Second. Or,
We need a motion.
Yeah, we have, I'll motion it so to, discuss impossible action to create bylaws and any matter thereto. Maybe adopting should be there later on.
We adopt them after we create them.
After we create, okay.
Yes.
So, as it states, discussion, with possible action on creating bylaws and any matters incident thereto. That would be my motion to.
second.
So the motion is to create a set of bylaws for this Veterans Affairs Committee of the City of Laredo to be governed by and to be adopted at another meeting. Is that
Yes.
what we?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a second for that?
Second.
We have motion and seconds. So, warriors, we have a motion on the floor to create a set of bylaws to be governed by. Once the bylaws are written, then we're gonna adopt them or not adopt them, it's gonna be up for the committee. So all those in favor of creating a set of bylaws to be governed by this committee, say aye.
Aye.
All those against, say nay. Motion passes unanimous. Thank you very much for your work. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so that brings us up to adjournment, except that I want to bring up item number 6, communications and announcements. And on the communication and announcements, I want to talk about a couple of things. One is this committee was created by the mayor of the city of Laredo. And since we do have a new administration, I'd like our member from the city council to give us direction as to what is gonna be the wishes of the new mayor, or is this committee gonna continue or not? Because if I remember, I could be wrong, but I think it's a term committee. Every time there's a change of administrations, all committees, I don't know, there's an actual set of deadline if they become, inactive or not, but we'd like to get some directions on that. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is sometimes it's difficult to come up with items on the agenda, and that I have been discussing this with several veterans about the possibility of continuing on a monthly basis or continue to having our meeting on an every other month basis in order to be able to have a more productive and more people attending. I'm not suggesting that we do that, I'm just bringing up information that is brought to me. Would it be more effective for us to meet every other month or to continue meeting every month? Think about it, you don't have to answer to today, but the next meeting, think about those things. And at the same time, if we're gonna be continuing with this committee with the new administration.
I'd like to speak to that.
Sure.
So as far as the creation of the committee, that was done by ordinance, and so the ordinance continues whatever mayor is in office, is my
Okay.
understanding, because it's already a standing committee. When we created the Port of Entry Advisory Committee, that one meets every 2 months, so it just depends on the committee, but however, that's the way it is in the bylaws, but we at that committee elect to have meetings every month. And so the ordinance will just dictate the minimum, number of meetings. So it'll say, at least every 2 months, but, you can have them more often if you want to, right? So, I think that maybe if a veteran, or anybody in the community would like to, come before the committee, maybe they're not sure how to get on the agenda. I know there's some confusion with that, as far as, how to get before the committee. If the wishes are to change the ordinance to be that the committee meets every 2 months, and then if it's up to the committee to meet more often, we can go that route as well. If you want, we can actually, through Mr. Jimenez, we could send a survey to all the members and ask them, like, what their preference is, like, what time of the day works better for them, what day, and then whether or not they would prefer to meet monthly or bi-monthly. And then we can present maybe we can send that survey out like in the next week or something, or by phone, or poll them by phone, and then share the results with us via email.
Yes, because we did do that with the time. I don't know if you remember, ma'am. We used to meet at 10 and then, some people couldn't show up, so we moved it closer to their lunch hour so they could be here.
Right.
So we could do that also. I'll make phone calls to see what happened, Mr. Vela.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, the idea of this committee, which the committee has done through the membership, have done great work in the last year or so. I don't even know how long we've been here, but almost a
2
year.
years.
And so we've done, in my opinion, great work, thanks to all of you. And we'd like to continue doing that in the most effective and efficient way that we can. There's been some issues where some of the committee members have issues with work, and being able to be here. That's why we have been moving the time back and forth, and I think that that's something that needs to be done, because we don't, like I said before, we don't punch a clock. The veterans don't punch a clock, and we need to continue giving them the best service that we can, and whatever it takes, that's what we'll do.
Well, just to add to that, if I may, I noticed that there's a Zoom online, like I see Councilmember Torres is virtual with us, so maybe we can, if we're already doing the virtual meeting, we can extend
Is not the council member, it's this Alberto.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I thought it was,
Yeah,
but.
it's the name, right? I saw it there too. And I was
Just making sure that it actually works.
But we can extend that invitation to the rest of the committee if, I know, if that would help as well, virtual.
Yes.
And that's something that came up, during the COVID time, and it's worked well. We had some growing pains like everything else. But as a whole, the committee obviously has been very effective and very efficient, and a lot of good work has been done. And we hope to continue doing a lot of good work. I mean, we can start with the tiny homes, where the tiny homes have been around for a long time, and several different organizations and people have tried to put it together. And it's not gonna be because of this committee, but the people in the committee were able to make it happen. And maybe next meeting, we'll have another upgrade, but I know the last meeting we had, it was a done deal. It was just a matter of, like anything else, time to put it together.
Well, I can tell you, just to add to that, for me, whenever this committee makes a decision and then I take it to council, it's not me bringing it to council, it's me bringing it to council to what the committee's wishes are, right? So there's more strength behind the request when it's coming from the actual veterans versus a council person that's like trying to advocate or do something for veterans. So I'm sponsoring the item, but on behalf of the will and the wishes of the veteran community. So it does have a lot of weight, the value, there's a lot of value in this committee.
There's no
So-
doubt, and we appreciate the work that you've done, because without your help, a lot of the things that has been accomplished by this committee would not have happened. Because you're our direct voice to the council. It's something that we need to continue.
Right.
To be able to do that. Without that, we just can't do it. To be able to have, what is it that we have now, 13 organizations? 13 veteran service organizations, so you're right. When this committee acts on an item, we are not taking the word of one or two veterans. You're taking the word of thousands of veterans.
Right.
So, like they say, the numbers make a difference. So, we appreciate you, Councilman.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you all and your service, and I'm here to serve as well and do what I can in my position, and I'll make sure that whatever we need to do legally to make sure that the committee continues, we'll do that.
Thank you. Any other discussions, comments, or suggestions? With that in mind, again, Güero, please approach the podium, Güero.
Jesus Segovia for the record. Going back to item number 3, where you requested that you're going to request an increase from the city for how much?
Double.
Double.
For 11.
To make it more attractive for the city, why don't we, to make it more attractive for the city and the possibility of it being approved, why don't we split, let's say, ask the city for an increase of 5,500 and the county for 5,500? I think that'll pass much easier than asking for them to double the amount.
So that'd be a big jump.
Well,
Well, shoot for the stars, right? Like, and maybe we can ask and then they settle lower, or maybe they'll give everything. But we could also ask the county to.
Well, in
more.
that case, ask the county also.
yeah.
So, I already have that on my notes. I was already gonna ask the county to see if they can, wait, I actually have it right here.
Double.
Yeah.
If we
To
can
double
both
it too,
double,
yeah.
that would
So,
be
but I
great.
just didn't say anything, but
Yeah.
yes, I was gonna ask, I thought it was a lot more she was getting from the county, but I'll bring it up to the court and let them decide if, even to help her with the,
Okay,
excuse me,
that's-
with the application.
Yeah,
if
hit 'em
needed. So,
both.
yes, the county's, I will make the request. I cannot guarantee that it's gonna happen, but I can make the request, and I will make the request.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Segovia.
you.
On another note that, I'm sorry. On another note that I should have done at the beginning of the meeting, like to, for the past several meetings, we've been talking about having representation from more organizations in the city and the county of, City of Laredo, County of Webb. And my apologies, Crystal, but I did not introduce you, but We have Crystal from the Laredo Veterans Health Clinic that has been here, and I know that one of the meetings that we had, I had asked if they could do that. So we appreciate your presence here, Crystal, and my apologies for not recognizing you at the beginning of the meeting.
It's okay. For the record, my name is Krista Cavido, and I am the administrative director for the VA clinic here. I have talked to Mr. Vela and some of the members about being present for any questions or anything new that comes out for our VA clinic. Right now, we have a lot of new services that are coming, and I'm in the works of doing a lot more. I've been there about 4 years, and we have done a lot of changes. So me being part of this committee could help in just putting out the information of all new things coming, or if any veterans have any questions on processes or anything that they need, that'll be me being able to represent for our clinic here for our veterans.
And there is a lot of programs that are out. For instance, I know that you do a nice, real nice on Veterans Day or the day prior, the day after, where it's just all about the veterans. She provides food and entertainment, and it's usually, I've seen it grown in the last 4 years from being inside to taking pretty much the whole clinic this last year. And then I'm pretty sure you're getting a lot of questions for the new PACT Act and all that, and maybe something we can bring in the next time on the health side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm here to, any questions, we get a lot of times that we have a lot of veterans that have a lot of misconceptions or miscommunications or questions on what they could do, what they can do, what we provide and what we don't provide, what's available for them. Unfortunately, Laredo in our cover area is the smallest clinic. We serve about 3,700 veterans only enrolled. We do have about maybe 10,000, if that's correct, in our local area. But if you live outside of the VA, which is about 30 miles out, you are allowed to go to a provider outside. So even though we cover Crystal City, Zapata, Heronville, and all those, veterans are allowed to go out there. So we don't serve them particularly in our clinic. So our clinic is 3,700 when all the rest of the Valley Coastal Bend is about 10,000, Corpus is 20,000. So trying to get services here in Laredo is a little bit harder because I don't have the numbers to be able to provide that. But we have grown within the last 4 years on the services that we provide. So, and that's, to me, one of the biggest measures that I've had, because every year I bring new services into this clinic. So hopefully I don't grow in size, but I do grow in service. So I am here for anything that you guys need.
And for the veterans that don't know, there's a new service. I believe it's already going. Wellness, where they do the yoga, Tai Chi.
We do. So a couple of our new new programs, and I don't want to take a lot of time. Maybe we could add it into our next meeting. But real quick, we do have physical therapy that is now in the clinic. We are bringing prosthetics as well, so you don't have to travel to Harlingen or Corpus to be able to provide that. We have our whole health, so we provide yoga, I think it's guitar classes, Tai Chi. We do have that in our clinic as well as a wellness purpose for that. Nutrition is also part of that, so that they provide on how to cook, what to do, you know. So we are bringing a lot of that back into our clinics. For a while there, we lost a lot of veterans just due to the service, but we do have a lot of new staff that is super eager to help our veterans. And we are trying to do everything that we can. We don't have pharmacy, which is one of the biggest things that the veterans always wanted in our clinic. Unfortunately, the structure of our building is not set for a pharmacy, but we do have an Instamet there that gives you about a 7 to 10 day supply on certain medications, and then the rest will come to you to your house. So, any other questions?
I do have a question. How do people sign up for, what is the reason? Is it because they get care through their primary care provider versus going to you, or they just don't know how to sign up? What is the reason for the low signups in your opinion?
Well, several reasons. One, we do have 3 tiers that you do have to, and I don't want to speak on that specifically because I don't know all the specifics on it. I don't want to kind of say something that is not correct, but you do have to either meet the financial tier or the service tier, so you have to observe certain area or you have to make a certain amount. And I could bring that information next time so veterans could know. But any veteran that wants to check if they do qualify for the service, they just go into the clinic and provide the information and they tell them whether they qualify or they don't. But there are 3 tiers in order to be qualified to provide the service. If you are service connected, you automatically qualify for services in our clinic. And a lot of the stigma is, especially for our population here in Laredo, if you're a law enforcement, government, is that if you go and you get benefits, then you're not able to get, or you have the stigma of, I don't need it, there's other veterans out there that need it, and, you know, I'm gonna let them. Every veteran that served deserves the service that we give, so we provide the service to every veteran, whether you're young or you're in the older generation. And a lot of times we do get those veterans that are in the younger generation saying, I'm not gonna take the service because somebody older than me needs it. So that's the stigma that we have.
I would like to, if I may make a comment, I would like to add that if you go to the City of Laredo website, we have a tab on there that says Veteran Affairs Information. I don't know if the veteran, if you all knew this, but we had IT add that there. So if it would help, we would put a link, we could put a link or some information to, on there regarding the services in the clinic, if that would help.
We do have our link for the Laredo Outpatient Clinic, and it provides some of the services and how to get a hold of some of the staff members within the Laredo section. So if you do go to the Laredo Outpatient Clinic, it provides the services that we do on there. And we are constantly growing, so we are changing it. Quarterly, we do a change of it to kind of add what we have and what we don't have.
If you can send that information to Mr. Jimenez, we can get that added to our website, so when somebody goes to the Veteran Affairs information, they can just click directly from there. And also to anybody else that's here, like any services or any events or whatever, send it to Mr. Jimenez so we can get it on the website, so people can see that directly from the city.
And obviously, that's one of the problems that we have here. I mean, the work that is being done at the Laredo Veterans Clinic here that is led by you, obviously is doing great work. The problem that we have is that we don't have enough veterans registered. Like you said, we have approximately 10,000 veterans here, and we have 1/3 registered, or a little over a third. If it goes back to numbers, if we can increase that to 5,000 or 6,000, I'm sure that you would be able to carry a bigger stick to be able to get us more benefits and more health activity going on here, like the physical therapy. I mean, we knew it was coming, and now it's a waiting list. And those kind of things, you know, if we had more numbers, and by you being able to say we already have a waiting list, maybe you can get a second therapist.
Well, we did. We just recently, last month, we brought in the physical therapist assistant.
And that's a plus.
And again, it just goes because unfortunately, the way we know is that money talks, right?
Sure.
So if we don't have the numbers, we don't have the money to do everything that we need to do. We did bring a second assistant, started last month, so now we have more availability, but we know that podiatry is one of the biggest issues. We know that cardiology is one of our biggest issues, right? Because all of our veterans need that. We are bringing podiatry. We do have a podiatrist once a month. Unfortunately, we already booked 90 days out,
Yes,
right?
I know.
But that's something that I present in all my meetings, and you know, I have to go stepping stone. So I already got the physical therapy, the prosthetics. Now I'm going with podiatry. It's what our veterans need. It's what we try to get. Even if they want to give it to me, I don't have a space in the clinic to be able to provide that because I already outgrew that clinic. Unfortunately, that's what happens, and I am in that lease for another 6 years. So it's all the give and takes on bringing more, but what do we provide? We did grow. We are growing into a 5th team now. When I first came here, we were only 3 teams, and then we grew into a 4th team, and now I'm waiting to get a 5th team to be able to provide more availability for the veterans to have their appointments. Right now, I think we're out to 60 days out before you get a new appointment.
And that is something that we need to work even more so, this committee in particular. Maybe, I know Mr. Garza has worked and with other members of our committee in getting people to sign up, getting the DD 214 registered with the county clerk's office. If we can find a mechanism or a tool out there to our veterans to be able to register with your clinic or with our clinic easier would help. And I don't know all the parameters. I don't know what is it that you have to actually go to the location, or it can be done by
It can be done in
outsourcing it.
10 VA Form 10-10. I don't remember the letter, it might be D, but 10-10 should, is to apply.
Yeah, for
And
instance.
we can send it from my office, you can do it.
Yeah, and that's something that needs to be done, because I did not know that, you know, and I'm sure a lot of veterans don't know, so it is gonna be our job to be able to disseminate that information to our veterans when they're coming back home, and anytime that you see a veteran, try to get him or her registered. If we can increase those numbers by 20% or so, it would be a tremendous advantage for us.
We have tried to do some of our, when we pair up with some of the organizations here to send our health benefits advisor to get applications, and then they run the applications. We could always do more of that, more of the, set up somewhere and let the veterans know, hey, we're gonna be here on this date from this time to this time, bring your information. We could, sign you up, we could do that. But I would need the support of everybody, because if I don't have enough veterans to show up, then I'm not gonna be able to, put that out there to my superiors to say, you know what, I need this time to be able to do some advertisement for our veterans.
So we appreciate you being here, Crystal, and I'll make sure that next meeting that you get the podium earlier, so that veterans can ask any questions, or you can provide us with any news that are coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would love if you guys bring me any of the concerns or the questions prior to the meeting, so that way I could have answers to some of what the veterans are, as well me providing some updates. But a lot of times it's the veterans that have some questions or concerns, or want to know why or why not, and that way I could provide that information instead of me coming here just giving out information.
Sure, absolutely. Whether you have a question?
Yes, the Army Reserve and National Guard members who need to serve 180 days consider veterans.
I don't want to answer to that because I personally don't know the background of what it is. It's very specific times and dates, and but our health benefits advisor has all that information, and they could answer that. So she is. We do have a new health benefits advisor, and she's there to answer all those questions for the Reserve, the National Guard, or anyone else that have served. So, and that's not my specialty.
The reason I asked is because I know of a veteran who was in the Army Reserve, and he didn't serve 180 consecutive days, so he was not entitled to any benefits at the Veterans Cemetery.
Yeah, I couldn't. Unfortunately, I don't know the specifics on that. It's not my specialty, but the health benefits advisor could help out on that. If they go into the clinic, and they could run that report for him or her.
But we could increase the number by, there's a lot of National Guard and Army Reserve out there that we can increase the numbers through those people.
Unfortunately, we have to follow the bylaws of the government and what we provide.
tackle
So
that.
Yeah.
even if I would love to give to every veteran, it is above us. It comes, from the White House, a bigger place where we provide that service.
To answer that, the 180 days, you're correct. However, it varies if it's before 1982, if they were enlisted, if they were officers. But if a veteran served 30 days in basic training and got hurt and he's service connected, he or she will qualify.
Yeah, but you gotta be
But yes, so unfortunately, my personal opinion, if you signed the dotted line, and you were lucky enough not to get recalled, hey, you're still a veteran. That's my personal opinion, but like her, we have to follow the federal laws, and it goes something to that effect.
Let's see if we can find somebody to be at the next meeting that can answer that question, and that way we can disseminate the information to our warriors in efficient way and a correct way so that we can try to increase the numbers of warriors that are gonna be enrolled in our community with that clinic, because it does make a difference on what kind of, the level, not necessarily the level, because the level of care is great right now, but getting more services to our location. And that's something that this committee can help with. If we can find somebody, and I don't know anybody, but I'll certainly look, but you that are in that business can find somebody to come out here and address that issue at our next meeting. And so that we as veterans can answer the questions to our warriors when asked. But again, thank you, Crystal, for being here.
I will say one last thing, just so, by experience, if we are gonna open up for a virtual for personnel to enter this meeting, to provide questions, it probably will go a little longer just because the beginning of me presenting information, again, there's a lot of veterans or a lot of, committees that don't know the information. Is just gonna extend the meeting, on the time. So that's just the only thing that I would say that would probably take a little longer if I'm gonna be able to present, because a lot of questions do come and it just kind of triggers on everything that's been pending or that has been questioned or that has been growing that we have not addressed because we have not been part of the committee. So just to put that out there.
Okay.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. It is 12:47. All those in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Not even gonna ask for a name. Motion passes. Again, thank you very much for being here.